The Big 12, Oklahoma and West Virginia, though, both lurking one game back. So this game, very important in the conference race as well. Hi again, everyone. Bob Wischusen here with Fran Fraschilla. We'll hear from Holly Rowe in just a moment. Both of these teams are more than just their respective point guards, but there's a little Ali Frazier feel to tonight's game with Trae Young and Jevon Carter.
Absolutely. Jevon Carter may be the best defensive guard in the country. He was voted that last year against Trae Young, who is the country's best offensive player, who, by the way, plays terrific in the Lloyd Noble Center, and he'll need to redeem himself after that performance in Morgantown.
And Holly, every game for Trae Young that's at home feels that way, I'm sure, for him.
Well, that's right. This building has been better than ever. 7 sellouts this year. The crowd has been more supportive. 0 last year. But the other thing is Trae Young has been roaming this baseline since he was 9 years old. He was a ball boy during the Blake Griffin era 10 years ago. He grew up on this hardwood. He lives 4.5 miles away. He goes home after every home game. He feels comfortable in this building, and it shows.
Well, this season, as the family looks on, it would be hard for any Sooner to say they feel uncomfortable in this building. They have yet to lose, and they're averaging about 98 points a game as we are set for our sonic blockbuster between the Mountaineers and Sooners.
Right off the bat, Bob, Carter not letting Trae Young get it easily at first.
Kadeem Latin missed from short range, and Jevon Carter comes away with the game's first rebound. Sean, thanks very much. It's got the feel of a heavyweight fight tonight here at Lloyd Noble Center in Norman as Big Monday in the Big 12 is underway between West Virginia and Oklahoma. And this is the matchup we've been waiting all week to see. Jevon Carter and Trae Young.
Jevon Carter in that first meeting had his way with Trae Young. And you see right away Trae going to school a little bit on that poor performance he had in Morgantown versus maybe the country's best defensive guard.
That's Fran Fraschilla. I'm Bob Wischusen. Holly Rowe is with us here in Norman as well. Oklahoma has not lost in this building this season. A perfect 11-0. Issa Ahmad off the mark. Trae Young tried to force one backdoor to Rashard Odoms.
One thing that West Virginia did in that first meeting where they sped Trae Young up. Take a look right here at Young. Good drive right by Carter, who does not want to get in foul trouble. He was in foul trouble in the first meeting.
Christian James double teamed. Kadeem Latin, 5 to shoot. Odoms, the drive, met by Kanate.
We may see a few of those more tonight. Kanate with the block.
Beetle Bolden at the other end hits a triple.
And when you score, if you're West Virginia, it allows you to set up this press.
And there is a backcourt foul on Jevon Carter. Well, Saad Kanate is a master at protecting the rim, and Beetle Bolden getting his second start of the season tonight in place of Daxter Miles. That's a recent change that Bob Huggins made for the Mountaineers.
Well, Daxter Miles has had the flu, and the interesting thing about Beetle Bolden, Not just the great shooting, but how about this? He's drawn 22 charges this season.
Floater from Trae Young.
The key for Trae Young is to control the pace of the game and his play as well. And so far, so good.
Bolden. That's an air ball. Konate weak side is able to force it up and in.
It's not just the block shots, Bob, but offensively, Sagaba Konate has really started to improve.
Young, offensive foul.
That is a good call. On the drive, he extended that arm. Easy call. Take a look now. Watch the left arm. The discard, you got to call that.
Issa Ahmad. Yes.
Bob, one of the things you got to do with Trae Young is you have to make him work to guard on the defensive end as well. Tire him out on defense.
Odoms into Issa, or rather Zach Konate, and pulled the string a bit. Beetle Bolden ends up with the loose ball, and here comes Harris. West Virginia with their first turnover. Young on the drive with the reverse. It won't go. Offensive rebound, Latin. Tied up, held ball. Possession arrow. We'll give it to West Virginia.
Bob, I want you to watch for this tonight. Trae Young knows that if he uses the ball screen, you see how he rejects the screen right there? When he uses the ball screen, he knows he's going to be trapped. So what he likes to do is reject the screen and drive into the open area. He's done that twice tonight.
Is that a change from the last time these two teams played?
I think he's adjusting. In the last game, he really struggled with being contested on the perimeter, so he's driving more early tonight. He missed 9 threes in that first game. They were all guarded closely.
Christian James. Yes, for 3.
And as you know, it's important for Trae Young's teammates to get involved offensively early.
Devon Carter pressured in the corner by Rashard Odoms. Already 3 West Virginia turnovers. We are tied at 7. Big Monday here in Norman.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Joseph A.
Trae Young. Tonight, I've seen a calmer Trae Young playing with more pace, if you will. But he did get called for that offensive foul on the discard.
And again, we're looking at this to a certain extent like a boxing match between those two. And we'll take it in 4-minute segments. Every 4 minutes or so, we take a television timeout. So if you look at the first 4 minutes as Young goes back door and draws the foul between Carter and Trae. How would you score the first round, basically?
Well, I think Trae got the best of West Virginia, let's say, in that first 4 minutes. But right now, Daxter Miles picked up a foul. That's the 3rd defender that has guarded Trae Young so far. And you like the idea that out of a timeout, knowing that Trae Young's going to get the basketball, they run him on a backdoor cut and free him for 2 free throws.
Well, we talked with Devon Carter at practice today about what he thought he did well in that first matchup, and he said, you know, I just sped him up. And Lon Kruger agreed. He said, I thought Trae got really frantic, and that's what West Virginia does to you. They make you play frantic, make you play faster than you want to. So he said pace is a big thing. The calmer and more relaxed OU is playing their pace and not getting sped up by this trapping West Virginia defense. That's the goal tonight. A little calmer, friendlier. Keep calm and carry on.
Easier said than done against West Virginia.
Trae Young has not had to guard really closely right now.
Konate, jump hook, short. The kick ahead to James. He leans in, can't finish.
We've seen a much better offensive performance from Kanate over the last few games. He's become their go-to guy inside.
Scoop from Issa Ahmad, soft touch, and that ties the game again. Odoms sets up the other freshman. Brady Manning hits a three.
How good was that? Trae Young again rejected the screen, drove it baseline, and Odoms has been great at driving middle with his left hand. He's a threat. Good kick out to an open shooter who can really shoot the ball in Manning.
Kanate challenged by Latin.
Nadim Latin very close to becoming the all-time shot blocker.
Young gives it up. Latin draws the foul. Let's take a look at Lon Kruger in our Infinity Coach's Corner. Now, he is a program rebuilder. We know that, but I thought the interesting point you made at shoot-around earlier today, harkening back to his days as the Kansas State point guard in the early 70s, and what he then brings to that relationship with Trae Young as a point guard coach, coaching a great point guard, as we invite you to take an infinity timeout in your day and vote for your favorite coach and charity.
Here's what people don't know about Lon Kruger. He was the three-time Big 8 Player of the Year. Think about that. Sophomore, junior, and senior year. Also drafted in football and baseball. One of the great athletes to come out of the state of Kansas from Silver Lake, a suburb of Topeka. Think about that, Bob. Three-time Big 8 Player of the Year.
Great. And how about his knowledge as a former point guard coaching Trae Young?
Absolutely. Because he allows Trae to play, make mistakes, and yet, of course, he's so valuable because he's such a gifted talent.
Ahmad West buries a three.
It's important that West Virginia make shots because it allows them to set up their pressure. I don't think West Virginia's pressure has been good as of late because I don't think the effort level has been there from all 10 or 11 guys. Oh, you'll love this, Bob.
Beautiful drive from Young.
What you love right now is he's not shooting the three and he's attacking off the dribble. He missed 9 threes in that first game.
West tries another. He's got another. And now a foul called as West Virginia set the press up. And Beetle Bolden is called for the personal.
Let's watch this now. Watch the open post. Good drive right there. He's not using ball screens tonight, and he's not settling for threes. And what happens, Bob, people say he's not a great athlete, which is nonsense. He's so much quicker because he can shoot the three. You have to close out on him, and it makes him quicker to the rim. Look at, he doesn't really want to use the screen. He doesn't need to.
Odoms through traffic. Tough shot. West. He's got 3 threes.
Oh, you like this because this young man last year as a freshman showed great range. I thought early in the year he was taking tough shots. 3 really good rhythm shots so far.
Double dribble called. And McGusty turns it over.
Lamont West came to West Virginia as a 17-year-old, not recruited at a Miller Grove High School in Atlanta. They redshirted him. Last year we saw some signs of outstanding play. And that's what he does. He can really fill it up from behind the arc.
Teddy Allen, freshman against freshman. Maddock won that battle, but an offensive rebound by Logan Rout's no good, and now Maddock has the rebound.
This is where Trae is dangerous in the open court.
He tries a 3, way short. The Heisman Trophy winner weighed in on a possible Player of the Year here at OU. It may be the second time in history that a Heisman Trophy winner and National Player of the Year in basketball are at the same school. And if it happens again, it will be the second time it happens here at Oklahoma. Of course, Sam Bradford and Blake Griffin were that pair, and that's high praise from the Heisman Trophy winner.
Well, it's a great comparison because if you think about it, they're both great offensive players. And, you know, I've often said that right now Trae Young doesn't want to guard, and somebody better guard Lamont West, but Trae Young doesn't want to guard Bob because Lon Kruger can't afford to get him in foul trouble. And the analogy would be, if you had to play two-way football again and Baker Mayfield had to play free safety, right? If you're Lincoln Riley, you're going to tell him, I want you to be 25 yards down the field, and the only time I want you to tackle anybody is an emergency. And it's
West.
the same way with Trae Young's offense. This is
Heat check from the corner. 5 made threes for Lamont West.
Every one of those threes have been in rhythm. This is a guy that was shooting abysmally early because he was taking tough shots.
Christian Doolittle. That won't go. Bolden uses the screen. The floater's in and out. Logan Routt with an offensive rebound. Carter rims one out. And Jamani McNeese pulls it down. Young. Another air ball. Out of bounds to West Virginia. Well, Super Tuesday presented by Boost Mobile tomorrow night. A big one in the SEC at 7 Eastern between number 15 Tennessee and number 24 Kentucky at Rupp. And then number 4 Michigan State on the road at Carver Hawkeye to take on Iowa in the Big Ten. Both of these rivalry week games are presented by Wendy's and are on ESPN and the ESPN app.
If you haven't seen Jaren Jackson Jr., the freshman from Michigan State, outstanding player. Kind of the new breed of big man, can block shots at a high rate, also tremendous outside shot.
West can't do it again, can he? Finally misses one. Teddy Allen kept it alive. And it's out of bounds off of Oklahoma.
Well, guys, we just saw Trae Young come out of the game for the first time. We talked to Lon Kruger today that, Bob, you had actually noticed his scoring was down in the last 5 minutes of games. Well, they thought that part of that could be fatigue. He's playing so many minutes, averaging almost 35 minutes a game. They're trying to buy him a little bit more rest in the first half around timeouts and in the second half around timeouts so that he's fresher down the stretch when they need him in close games.
And a quick turnaround, too. When you play on Big Monday, you're playing Saturday and then Monday night. So that has to have a cumulative effect as well. That was a heck of a game that Oklahoma played against Texas on Saturday.
It does, and both coaches did very little physical activity yesterday with their practices for that reason, Bob.
We will step aside for 30 seconds and come right back to Norman.
There are a chosen few in possession of an X factor most can only dream of, capable of bringing a packed building to its feet with a simple wave of their arms. They don't just inspire school spirit, they embody it. Statues are built in their honor. Yep, there's no big man on campus bigger than the one in the big furry suit.
On Saturday.
Lamont West, he is lighting it up as he has been unconscious from 3.
Well, it's amazing. He's shooting 32% behind the arc, Bob. He's really developed into a good outside shooter in his first couple of years. But early in the year, quite frankly, he was taking bad shots, contested shots. And you've seen so far tonight rhythm shots. And how about this? Javon Carter, 8 field goals for West Virginia tonight. He's got 7 assists. Taking a break right now.
In the midst of a 17-2 West Virginia run that has been almost all Lamont West. He scored 15 of the 17 points. McNeese muscled it up as he drove the foul. So Jamani McNeese will go to the line.
Well, in Oklahoma's 5 losses recently, Trae Young has played 38 minutes in those games. And you know the key, Bob, West Virginia, they talked about this. You can't stop this guy, so you want to make him as inefficient as possible and make the team inefficient as possible. In those 5 losses, the team is shooting 27% behind the arc, and their turnovers are greater than their assists.
Shot clock down to 5. Konate, soft off the window, won't go, pulled down by Doolittle. Shepard lobs it up to McNeese.
That's how you shoot nearly 70% from the field. Jamoni McNeese. You should have seen him in high school. He averaged about 8 points a game. Dramatic improvement.
Allen. Offensive foul.
See McNeese behind the defense.
He's been kind of a feast or famine player. Over the last 8 games, he had 14 points against Kansas, 16 on Saturday night against Texas. And in the other 6 in that 8-game stretch, didn't score more than 4. So he's either barely scoring or he's a double-digit scorer. Foul called. A moving screen. So we'll step aside. West Virginia with a 6-point lead on Big Monday.
Competitive, and he let his team know that he wasn't happy with the effort. By the way, Trae Young does have 8 points, but he has no assists tonight, which is right up Bob Huggins' alley. Doesn't want the other players on West Oklahoma to get involved.
Carter, jump stop. Well done.
Very much under control, Bob. Pivoted away from the big man. By the way, Trae Young's been out since about 9.5 minutes, so this is a fairly lengthy break for him, given that they had a TV timeout as well.
Shepard, nice spin move, and he finishes. Reset to Miles, 10 to shoot for West Virginia. 5 to shoot. Logan Rout in the lane, missed the pass from Lamont West on the roll.
Well, Logan Rout's got to finish his route because that was actually a good pass, but Rout stopped running. He's got to go hard to the rim, screen and run to the rim. What a great story from Cameron, West Virginia. He's going to take a seat, a town of about 900 people. He was discovered by Bob Huggins when his grandmother, the mayor of Cameron, said at a booster club lunching up in the Wheeling area, "I've got a grandson you ought to take a look at."
James called for the foul. Great effort by Lamont West, setting up the press. He was in position, and he took a shot from Christian James.
Isn't it amazing that West's offense has kind of spurred him on to play pretty good defense? That's an easy call. Maybe a little acting, but you can't shove off.
2 minutes for embellishment, I would say as well. Baxter Miles gives it up to Konate. And Trae Young gets up off the bench, headed to the scorer's table after about as long a rest as you'll see him get. Shepard lost the dribble. Carter comes away with it. Numbers for the Mountaineers. Daxter Miles with the left hand hit the underside of the rim. And a failure to convert for West Virginia.
Well, nice dump off right here. I think it's Daxter Miles. You see, he draws the big guys. Canate heads right to the restricted arc. You teach your big guys that on a drive by a guard, you just go right to the restricted arc and be ready for the dump off. Nice job by the sophomore, who continues to get better and better.
Trae Young, yes, right around Beetle Bolden.
The recipe tonight for Trae Young is to drive to the open post area. He's not using ball screens, and he's not been effective with the three-point shot.
Ahmad for three, short. Odoms to Manic. In and out, Latin tried to follow, and Bolden shovels one off to Carter. Harris allows the flyby, mid-range jumper. That's no good. Offensive rebound and a putback by Issa Ahmad.
That young man has the biggest hands in the Big 12 right there. And you saw a great example right there. He was stuck underneath the basket and still came up with that basketball.
Young for three. Knocks it down.
That's the first contested three he's made against West Virginia this season.
It's a Mountaineers timeout.
Take a look, Bob. Javon Carter's pretty closely guarding him. Watch Trae get free. That's all the space he needs.
You know, Jay Williams spent some time with Trae Young, and one of the things he talked with Trae about was just that. How does he get the shot off so fast?
Tell me how you get your shot off so quick, man.
I always catch it and I go to my pocket. Like, I don't.
So wait a second. So you don't waste motion. So most people, they bring the ball down.
They bring the ball down and go up. If I catch it up high, I'm going right in my shooting pocket. I don't dip. And just
Can you show me?
It.
Wait, let me see.
Just catching it.
So just give me a shot. So you're just catching it. So you just keep the ball right there. That's.
Just catching it and just getting it off.
That has to be so valuable a skill against a defender like Javon Carter when Carter can tag you so closely throughout the game.
Well, it better be valuable next year because the guys he's going to be playing against, no disrespect to Javon Carter, are going to be better than him. But that's what makes him so quick to the basket is he gets his jump shot off so quickly. You have to defend that first.
Good hands back to Dean Latin. Manic, nice catch. Shot fake, and he is met. The Mountaineers collapse on Brady Manic. And it's out of bounds to OU.
Yeah, that was a block by committee right here. Watch Manic leak out. And there's a couple of defenders lurking. Any one of three Mountaineers could have got that one.
Manic steps back on Ahmad and is fouled. And let's see if Doug Sermon says he was behind the arc. It looks like he is, so it'll be 3 free throws for Brady Manic Thursday, 8 Eastern on ESPN. Chapter 1 of basketball's greatest rivalry and a sonic blockbuster, Duke and North Carolina at the Dean Dome. You can always watch it streaming live as well on the ESPN app. The first of the 2 annual meetings between Duke and UNC.
This young man, Brady Manic, grew up about 20 miles from Norman. And he may not be the best shooter in his family. His dad, Carey, played right up the road at Oklahoma Christian University and was a career 46% shooter from behind the arc. It runs in the family.
West Virginia's largest lead was 10. OU has it down to 2. Carter leans in. The floater won't go. Young tried to save it. Out of bounds to the Sooners. Oklahoma looks to tie or take the lead when we come back to Lloyd Noble.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's Hamburgers, made with fresh, never frozen beef. And Phillips 66. Proud.
Hugs did start in the game, putting more scorers on the floor. And I like the idea of taking the assist away from Trae Young. Now they've got to get some stops.
Jordan Shepard. Glad they found him. He spells Trae Young some minutes.
You love Shepard.
You love the Shepard.
Yeah, guys, when Trae Young was on the bench for 3.5 minutes, Oklahoma actually outscored West Virginia 6-4 during that stretch as Manick can't finish the lob from Young, and there were some very solid plays from Jordan Shepard. As Bolden floats one, that won't go. The tip follow, though, is there. Kanate.
Yeah, good job by Kanate. Soft touch.
Trae Young still without an assist.
But you know what? I think he's played with good composure. The offense has been pretty good for Oklahoma.
Odoms with English.
There is not a more dominant driving player to his left in the Big 12 than Rashad Odoms. That's got to be part of your scouting report. But he has really played well lately. 17 points a game in his last 3 for the defensive stopper.
Bolden knocks down a 3.
Terrific set play. They took the ball to the baseline away from Bolden, who just commits a foul, and they bring it right back.
2 good offensive possessions for West Virginia out of that timeout, and there's a reason why Bob Huggins really got on his team, saying the reason this tailspin started from us is because Oklahoma comes down and runs offense. We come down, dribble, 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 bad shot. He wanted his team running a play, making Javon Carter actually get into the offense. That last time down, Javon Carter with the nice pass, reversed the ball, and Beetle Bolden with an open 3.
48% so far in the first half for West Virginia, for a team that right now is last in the Big 12 in game-by-game shooting percentage. As a team, they normally shoot about 43%.
Well, it's a chicken and egg theory because their defense and that pressure usually stimulates offense and vice versa, and watch out. Because when you're making shots, you can set your press up. When you're pressing and turning it over, you can get easy shots.
Young with a fake, and he just about turned it over. Gets it back from Latin off the friendly bounce.
That's one of the rare times this season that Latin will get an assist passing to Trae Young. But it happens a lot the other way.
Another trap on Bolden. Ahmad to Miles to Harris. Great ball movement by West Virginia.
And I like this. Odoms is handling the ball to bring it up the court. He's going left.
Muscles it up. And scores again.
You got to know that. He is a one-arm bandit. And he's good at it. Right now, he's robbing the bank. But you got to force him to his right hand if you're West Virginia.
Kanate, jump hook. How much has he improved? 8 points here in the first half for Zach Kanate. The lob, and Manick the finish. Christian James with the assist.
Bob, right now, Oklahoma, the ball's not in Trae Young's hands, and what he's doing is taking a mental health break. When Odoms or McGusty or James handles the ball, it allows Trae Young to catch his breath on offense.
Kanate in double figures again for the 7th straight game.
Tell you what, West Virginia assistant coach Eric Martin has done a great job with him.
Miles takes it away from Rashard Odoms. Crosses over. The floater goes. It's back to a 10-point lead for the Mountaineers.
If I'm Bolden, I make him use the screen to bring a second defender, because he is going to drive to the open area like that.
To the line for Trae Young.
You talk about the improvement of Sags Kanate, assistant coach Eric Martin. Now this guy was on that 92 Cincinnati Final Four team and has been with Hugs the last 11 years. And what they've done with Sags Kanate is they want him to be frenetic defensively, but to slow down on offense. And Bob, that's why you see the pace he plays at, both inside and outside. Very calm nature to his offensive game.
First bit of foul trouble for Bob Huggins to worry about, by the way, as Young will go to the bench for the last 7 seconds to avoid picking up a cheap one. And that foul called just now on James Beetle Bolden was his third. That's the effect of Trae Young, right? You're going to get guards in foul trouble because he's hard to guard, as they will bring Bolden in for this last offensive possession.
Now the clock never started, or did they sub him out?
He left and went to the bench.
Yeah.
And they've got too many on the floor, so Bolden's going to have to go back out.
Right. He was trying to sneak back in. If you got time to go to the rim.
Carter will try to do just that. Floats one up and knocks it down to end the first half with a 10-point lead for West Virginia. Mountaineers made their last 7 straight from the field to end the first half as we go to Holly.
Well, Coach, what did you get into Lamont West tonight? Red hot with 15 points, hitting every 3 he put up in the first half.
You know, he's been putting some extra time in, is all I know.
Well, good job on that.
I just told him to shoot the ball. We've been trying to help him, and I think it made it worse. I just told him to shoot the ball.
Okay, good. Kanate finally getting established down in the post. How did that start to happen better?
He got better position. He's posting outside the lane, and they got great help defense. I mean, that guy on the other bench can coach too, you know.
I think he can. Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Is there any way we could do the entire second half with just Holly talking to Bob Huggins? Be about as good as it gets, as we have reached the half, matching their largest lead at the break. West Virginia up by 10 here in Norman. With Seth and Jay, the halftime report now with Carl Ravitch. Ravi, at home, the Sooners so far this season. A moment ago, Holly Rowe with Lon Kruger.
Well, Coach, Trae Young leads the nation in assists, but none in the first half. What does that stat tell you, and what do you want to do to change it?
Well, they're doing a good job of staying home on receivers. They're not coming off. Trae's got a couple 3 layups because of it, but we got to find a balance in there somehow. Okay, and how do you shut down their perimeter shooting? Lamont West got very hot there. West shot the eyes out of it. We got to get a hand up and not let him do that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Pretty simple coaching on Big Monday, presented by Joseph A. Bank. That was Holly Rowe, Bob Wischusen, and Fran Fraschilla as well. Set for the start of the second half. What has to flip for Oklahoma in the next 20 minutes?
It's obvious defense. This is a team that averages 85 points a game in the Big 12, but guess what? They give up 85 points, and 50 is way too much. On the other hand, West Virginia, not a great shooting team, 36% on the season, red hot in the first half. They've got to guard that three-point line.
We are set for the second half of our Sonic blockbuster. 11-0 at home so far this season for the Oklahoma Sooners, averaging 97.5 points at home, 40 in the first half, which would be good for just about any other team, but they gave up 50, and it's well below their normal average.
Well, there's that matchup again because Carter picked up a quick early foul and has been solid since.
Nice crossover by Young, blocked by Carter, but cleaned up by Brady Manick.
Remember, Bob, West Virginia has had 3 double-digit leads dissipate in the last month, including to Kansas and Kentucky.
Kanate too strong. Here comes Young. Pocket picked by Javon Carter. Carter runs down the loose ball and turns it over.
There's those quick hands we always talk about with Javon Carter. Good tip from behind. Wasn't able to use those quick hands to catch that pass from Miles.
Carter commits a foul. That's his second.
With Bolden with 3, Carter picking up 2. Dax Miles will get a piece of Trae Young. Gonna shoot it.
On the drive instead, gives it up. Kadeem Latin lost it right at the rim. Young dribbles it free. He'll try a 3. In and out.
Oh, they had Carter up the court. Didn't see him.
From Trae Young range, Carter's off the mark. The lob, broken up by Carter as Odom's tried to go backdoor. Carter down the lane. To Ahmad, blocked by Matt.
Early to start, great effort by Oklahoma on the defensive end.
Young short, Konate another rebound. That's his 5th. Ahmad left alone. Manic quick trigger. That's off the mark, and Konate has rebound number 6 to go along with 10 points. Both teams struggling shooting to start off here in the second half. West Virginia 0 for 4. Oklahoma only 1 for 6. Wesley Harris. West Virginia 0 for 5.
Now too many threes by West Virginia. I think they need to go inside.
Foul on Miles. That's his 3rd. Now, how do you manage your guards against Trae Young? If you're Bob Huggins, you got Bolden and Miles both with 3 and Carter with 2.
Exactly. It's like a shell game. You have to rotate those 3 guys.
Whoever's got the least amount of fouls gets the job.
Yep.
And now it's back to Javon Carter. He's got 2.
Trae's done a good job tonight of driving the ball as opposed to necessarily using ball screens.
Odoms comes up short. Knocked out by Latin. No, they'll leave it with Oklahoma.
Well, guys, coming out of the half, Trae Young came out, and while his team was shooting in their normal routine warming up, he just sat on the bench by himself. I haven't covered him in enough games to know if this is his typical routine, but he just didn't look like himself. The coach just kind of came over, kept giving him a pat on the leg, get him going. And just curious, you know, he had that extended break in the first half. Not sure if he's under the weather or not, but just not the same energy from Trae coming out. We'll have to check in with him after the game and see exactly what was going on there.
And we just saw a delay of game warning called on Javon Carter. You know, the one thing that I'll tell you about Trae Young, think about this. Have you seen him smile a lot lately? You know, I don't see him smiling as much as he should.
Looks like a foul on the floor. It's going to be called on Konate. You think the season's wearing on him a bit?
Well, listen, he's been the most dominant story in college basketball for great reasons. But in the Big 12, where it's dogfight every night, when it hasn't gone his way, you can see the frustration on his face. You love the idea that he's got a winning spirit and he's a great teammate, but I would enjoy this a little bit more.
James rises up. That won't go. Manic can't beat Carter to the basketball, and it ends up with Lamont West. West with a nice fake.
See, I would make Trae guard.
Carter goes right at him, and it's blocked by Manic. Another challenge at the rim by West Virginia. Christian James tries again. Offensive rebound, Manic. That's blocked inside by Konate. Back out to Young.
Well, even the shots he didn't block, he was lurking.
Manic left alone, comes up short. Latin tried to back tap it away from Javon Carter and couldn't.
He might have gotten Konate 1 or 2 blocks on that sequence, but he challenged 4 just by standing in the lane.
Bob Huggins calls a timeout. West Virginia still hasn't scored a point here in the second half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's Hamburgers, made with fresh, never frozen beef. And Phillips 66.
When you think of West Virginia, you think of the steals of Javon Carter. He feels exactly the same way about that ability to challenge those shots.
A foul underneath away from the ball before West got that shot off. It's going to go against Christian James. He knocked down Teddy Allen. We'll step aside for just a moment. Come right back to Lloyd Noble. 6-5 right now in the league. I mean, midway through the season, past the midway point, they lose that game to be 500 in the ACC. It seems like they might need that one a little bit more than Duke.
Well, and on the other hand, Duke's coming off one of the worst performances they've had in maybe a decade, losing to a St. John's team that was 0-11 in the Big East, so there'll be some high drama there.
Allen throws it away. Had a floater he could have taken in the lane, passed up the shot. Now breaks up the pass intended for Manic. These two teams now are 1 for 19 from the field to start off the second half. West Virginia hasn't scored yet, and they still have an 8-point lead.
You see that last deflection? If you watch the Texas game, they had 5 of those transition layups because of Trae Young's passing ability.
Well, finally, Trae Young hits a shot, and it's a 5-point game.
He has 20, but his teammates are 6 of 25 tonight. I think you got to throw it in there, Teddy Allen.
Five to shoot. Carter gets his dribble back. He'll drive it, scoop it, can't knock it down. West an offensive rebound, and he draws the foul. That foul will be called on Christian James.
Take a look now. Watch Trae get loose here on the inbound. Handoff. They go underneath. Nobody really gets out on him. And he's made that shot in the corner in this building probably 50,000 times. And you know what? Most of the time that he made that shot, he snuck into the building back in high school.
The 20th time this season that Trae Young has scored at least 20 points in a game. He's gone for 30 points or more 8 times, 40 points or more 4 times.
But no assists tonight.
Carter from the corner. That comes up short. Another offensive rebound for West. A foul away from the ball. And this one's going to go against Matt Freeman of Oklahoma. Carter. The finger roll is perfect, and that's the first bucket of the second half for the Mountaineers. Teddy Allen with a steal. Carter dragged the pivot foot, and he's called for the travel.
Javon Carter should have gone right up and scored over Young, but he pivoted. But watch this right here. Off a double screen. There's the drive, no help, and then the scoop inside. 11 assists on Saturday. He had 7 early assists tonight.
Soft touch from Christian Doolittle. That's his first bucket. West for 3. Young contested, and Young called for the foul.
You guys talked about the prowess of Sagaba Konate. He has got one of the more intriguing family backgrounds. He is one of 14 children. He grew up in Mali, and 6 of the brothers from the Konate family are here in the United States playing college basketball. He is just one of the latest. Lasana was at Point Park. Husseini, they are twins, was also at Point Park. Mohammed is a freshman at Glenville State, redshirting. Bakari is at Minnesota. Ibrahim was at Boston U. And one of the oldest, the first to come over, he has actually gone on to become a world-renowned mathematician. So very intriguing family, 14 siblings. I would just like to meet their mom and say, you are amazing.
And Holly, there's another one on the way who until recently was playing soccer. And the older brother said, nah, you're a basketball player. Don't you see what we're doing here in the United States?
That's the same story with Sagaba. He grew up playing soccer, as most obviously over there will do. And then obviously the basketball shift turned out to be a pretty good decision. These are the first free throws of the night, by the way, for West Virginia, as West is able to knock down a couple. He's got 16.
You notice how Lamont Kruger has taken the ball out of Trae Young's hands to bring it up the court. And I mentioned that mental health break earlier. That allows him to rest and not have to work the ball 94 feet.
Odom's lost it.
And that's why you want it in his hands most of the time. That's pretty good defense by Trae Young.
Carter has Freeman caught on a switch. Goes around him, scoops, and scores.
Same exact move, right hand to the rim. Shot blockers couldn't get by.
Doolittle. High off the window. Tapped by McNeese, right to Issa Ahmad. Carter attacks again. That goes off the top of the backboard, and it falls right to Konate.
And that was all started because on that last drive, even though Konate did not block the shot, he was spooking the offense by Oklahoma.
It's the largest lead for West Virginia, up to 11 with 12.5 to go. Big money.
First the anticipation, then the body position. He blocks the shot with his inside hand, and watch the timing at the top of the square. When he thinks you're going to lay it in, he uses the right hand to stay away from the body on the left side. Now, if you try to dunk it, he's going to get into the restricted arc, two hands straight up, stays vertical, and that's a volleyball spike. Take a look, straight up. And when we talked to him today, Bob, and talked to the coaching staff, we said, we said to the coaching staff, do you teach him how to block shots? They said, absolutely not. They don't want to destroy his creativity and his timing.
No instruction from the coaching staff at all.
At all. Don't want to mess with what's good. Yep.
Young with the shot clock winding down. Weaves his way to the goal. McNeese, an offensive rebound. That was a bucket Oklahoma needed out of the timeout as they've got it down to single digits with 12 to go.
Lon Kruger giving Ty Lazenby a chance. The junior college transfer from right here at Glencoe, Oklahoma.
He's on Carter. 10 to shoot. Carter goes right at him. Gives it up. Man, a rout. Gets to hang from the rim.
Keep in mind, West Virginia has had double-digit leads 3 different times in the last month and given them away. This is a critical 11 minutes.
Spin move. And the finish by Christian James. Chance for a three-point play. Fouled by West.
Remember, Trae Young does not have an assist tonight. And so the guys like James, Odoms have had to do it one-on-one. Bob Huggins has determined that Trae Young's going to get his, but we're not going to let him set up his teammates. So far, it's been a good strategy. Little matchup zone by Oklahoma. First time tonight.
Ahmad tries to bust the zone. Can't do it. Konate dragged down by Lazenby. Our next NBA Wednesday doubleheader has Jimmy Butler and the T-Wolves taking on King James and the Cavs at 8 Eastern. Then LaMarcus Aldridge and the Spurs square off against Devin Booker and the Suns. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 7 on ESPN and the ESPN app. And LeBron James recently saying we shouldn't be on national television anymore.
They have been awful, the Cavaliers. Trading deadline coming up.
And we've got some Big 12 prospects. Trae Young right now, 7th on our ESPN.com big board. Young has his pocket picked again by Javon Carter.
How quick were those hands? Quickest hands in the West.
Bolden tries to call timeout.
I think he got it because his feet were on the ground. The rule is if he's in the air, he's not allowed to call timeout. But Beetle Bolden was doing the ballerina act on the sideline. And they gave him, take a look, Roger Ayers, as long as there's a foot on the ground, you can call timeout. And Roger Ayers was right on that. Good piece of officiating.
Now West Virginia is now down to 1 timeout remaining. In a game like this, you're coaching. Is this possession important enough to now only be down to 1 timeout?
Yes, because you still have 2 TV timeouts. And right now, absolutely, to me, that's a good play and a good use of the timeout. And I'll let you know if they score, because then it's even better.
That's bold analysis. Let's play the result, and then we'll tell you whether or not it was a good timeout. Well, you talked about it. Quickest hands in the West, Javon Carter. Boy, he can rob you blind so quick without fouling.
Well, and he did this in Morgantown. Take a look right here. Reach it. Look at that's all ball, full speed. Aren't many better in the country at that.
West, too strong. Issa Ahmad, weak side rebound.
Oklahoma's going to stay in that matchup zone.
West again from the corner. This one's short. Young, near midcourt, knocks down a 3.
He caught Beetle Bolden sleeping. Beetle needs to know better.
Bolden for 3. Able to answer.
You know what I like about that as a coach? Trae Young just dropped a 3 on him, and he came right back and didn't hesitate.
Young crosses over. Hits another triple. Issa Ahmad draws the foul. Manek thought he had position. 2 shots for Issa Ahmad.
Can't give Trae Young this much separation. Take a look. That is straight on. He gets Bolden, and then watch the crossover. This is the footwork. We talked about quickness. The better ball handler you are, the quicker you become. And he did that against a great defender, as we've seen all night.
Still without an assist, but he's got 26 points.
Let me ask you a question. You think he's played under control, even with no assists?
Well, there have been many times it feels like his driving has begun a series of ball movement for Oklahoma that has resulted in a good possession. So even though he doesn't have an assist, it seems like there have been possessions where he has still affected it positively with his passing.
I agree, and I also like the fact that since they're cutting off the passing lanes, that he's doing it himself, but he's doing it in a very measured manner, although he loses it right there.
Now you talk about Konate as a shot blocker, spooking a team. Carter sometimes spooks a team the same way. It seemed like he just spooked Oklahoma into that turnover, and now another timeout called by Bolden. That's it for West Virginia. 9:14 to go in the second half, and Bob Huggins is now out of timeouts. Bob Wischusen, Fran Fraschilla, Holly Rowe here on Big Monday. All right, I'm going to ask you the question again. Now is this possession important enough to be completely out of timeouts on the road for West Virginia?
For me, yes, because I want possession of the ball because I know I still have 2 timeouts left to rest, and I've got this lead, and I would do that. But the bigger concern for Bob Huggins is not the timeouts, it's Trae Young. And what you love about him tonight, Bob, think about it, only 16 shots. He didn't shoot the 3 early because it wasn't there. Did a good job of driving. They took away the passing lanes. He took advantage of that. And then guess what? Once he started to drive it, started making those threes.
Let's go over to Holly.
Well, guys, Myron Metcalf of ESPN.com is just saying that Trae Young is indeed sick. We had a feeling because he just hasn't been himself. Didn't warm up with the team and had extended rest minutes in the first half. I've been watching him closely in the huddle, and he just doesn't look like himself. He's definitely fighting through something right now, and you can see his energy level just isn't the same. He's going to have to try to fight through this tonight. I did not get him sick, by the way. I promise. I did not get him sick tonight.
It may be the West Virginia guys, Bob, because remember, they went through the flu bug all last week. Beetle Bolden in the hospital on Friday getting IVs.
Issa Ahmad, back out to Carter. Bolden, fadeaway 3. Kanate, kept it alive to West, taken away by Kadeem Latin. Bob Huggins can't believe no fouls go.
Nice.
Manic blocked though by Ahmad. Young is bumped by West.
Trae Young initiates so much contact. These officials have done a good job tonight of calling plays that aren't fouls. You see mom and dad watching. That last one was a foul. But Trae really uses the body well. Gonna drive left.
He's got a size advantage, does Odoms on Bolden, but gives it up to Young.
Watch him throw his body into the driver.
Ahmad, foul.
Oh, we got a little extracurricular going on.
And now Young bumps West after the second made free throw. And he had a frustrated look on his face, looked over at Roger Ayers. Getting a little chippy.
Well, he's got to play through that. He's going to get that every night next year for 80 games. He's a competitor.
Ahmad back to Carter. 5 to shoot. Carter to Bolden. He's going to have to put one up. It's blocked by Young. Out of bounds. That should be a shot clock violation.
Bob Huggins not happy, but let me tell you, great defense by Trae Young. Terrific block from behind. It's heating up in Norman.
Guys.
A bit of those. Javon Carter with the quick hands, stifling him at times. But overall, 16 shots, 28 points. West Virginia's still holding on by 5.
It's a Sonic blockbuster. And it is rivalry week and a good way to kick it off on Big Monday here in Norman. Bob Wischusen, Fran Fraschilla, Holly Rowe. Under 8 minutes to go. Javon Carter with a steal. Cruises in for 2 to extend the Mountaineer lead.
How good is he defensively? He is a nuisance. Little matchup, little 1-3-1 zone now by West Virginia. Out of the timeout.
Latin patiently allowed the flyby, but missed the bunny over Kanate.
Yeah, exactly right. Guess it was in the vicinity.
Carter for three. Air ball. Tapped around. Kanate's got it. 10 to shoot. Kanate goes right back up with it. Kadeem Latin grabbed the rebound, but a foul will be called on Kanate.
Well, he's done this so many times. He's the all-time career steal leader in West Virginia. And you don't turn your back on a pickpocket. Never spin dribble versus a great defender. And that's a good lesson right there for Christian James.
Both teams now out of fouls to give. That was team foul number 7 on West Virginia. Oklahoma now with 6, so we shoot free throws the rest of the way. The only senior for Oklahoma, Kadeem Latin, makes a couple. It's a 5-point game again.
And a starter in the Final Four 2 years ago. He's got no fouls tonight. He needs to put a lid on the basket on this end of the floor.
To shoot. Carter drives, blocked, taken away by Brady Manick. Here comes Trae Young. Scoops it up off the top of the backboard, and it falls through. Too strong on the three for Lamont West. Run down by Bolden. He's got it. Takes a shot. No foul called. At least I thought there was no foul called. We'll check on Beetle Bolden.
Remember, Beetle Bolden, he couldn't call timeout, but watch this. For all the superlatives we've seen out of this guy this year, that shot might be as good as any. This ball went up on the top of the backboard and kissed the sky.
On the shot clock for Carter. Tied up to the corner. 1 to shoot. West beats the timer. Or did he? Shot clock violation.
I'm going to tell you, Bob, this is the best defense Trae Young has played all year long. He hasn't had to worry about foul trouble. He caused that shot clock violation by sticking his hand in on Carter's drive. Carter had to pass the ball. He is engaged on this end of the floor in the second half defensively.
Young working hard against Carter. Launches a three. Over to West Virginia. Coming up on 5 minutes to go. Mountaineers have led by as many as 11.
West Virginia offensively has been in disarray the last few minutes.
Ahmad tied up at a foul call. That will go against Kadeem Latin.
Remember, this guy was not eligible to play until January 13th, a starter a year ago. Just getting back in the flow for Bob Huggins. The junior was declared academically ineligible for the first semester. Wesley Harris, 6'8", guarding Trae Young right now. But they're in a zone.
Latin needs help. Shot clock at 10. And Young finally has it. Double team. Shot clock at 5. Weaves his way through traffic. Throws one up. It won't go. Carter to Kanate! And he threw it right over the top of the rim. He thought that he was challenged and that OU got a piece.
If that ball hits the rim, it's off Kanate. Let's take a look. Bob Huggins wanted a foul. This was a tomahawk. Boy, it looked like he got armed.
Trae Young tripped up. Another foul call. That one's on Carter. That's his third.
Let's go back and watch, Bob. Watch Kanate.
Is that a foul on Manic?
I thought he got him on the arm. Oh, he got ball. He got ball. I was wrong. We get the benefit of watching 4 replays. These guys have to call it in real time. That's why Doug Sermons is in the Final Four.
One possession game again with 4 minutes to go.
Going zone again. West Virginia, as I've mentioned, has not been smooth against the zone.
Again, the shot clock down to 5. Ahmad straight away. He connects. That's a long 2.
They came into tonight knocking down 50% at a small sample size.
Young creates space. In and out. Ahmad with a shot fake and a drive. Rolls it down!
Oh, man. Somebody just committed a homicide in Norman. On the rim.
Odoms banks it in. Kanate, yes.
Did you see that footwork? Kadeem Latin, a great shot blocker, thought he was going to go up. Kanate stepped through.
6 double-doubles this season now for Zach Kanate. 2 minutes to go. Manic with a reverse. And it looks like Lon Kruger is going to use one of his 2 remaining timeouts. 2 minutes even to go on Big Monday. Can West Virginia hold on and give Oklahoma their first home loss of the season?
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
Wendy's 4 for $4 just got better because now there's more variety with 8 sandwiches to choose from.
As we head down the stretch in the Big 12, the challenge for everyone in the Big 12 other than Kansas is to end their streak. The winner of this game stays in touch with Texas Tech, and KU only 1 game in the loss column behind.
And right now, Texas Tech has that advantage. They beat Kansas at Kansas. Rematch coming up soon.
West Virginia has been in this position before, leading by double digits in the second half. They've lost 3 times this season. Inside of 2 minutes to go. Here's Javon Carter. Blocked by Latin.
Terrific job by Kadeem Latin. Did not leave his feet. Used his lane.
Young down the lane. Wraps a pass around for his first assist of the night to Kadeem Latin. Missed a close one. Latin's got the rebound.
Quick hands by Carter. Almost got that, Bob.
Latin needs help, and he finds Young as the trailer. Young lost it.
There you see Rayford, former outstanding player at Texas Tech. There's the drive, the dump off, and good find. First one of the night. We were trying to figure out if a player who was leading the country ever had a game with no assists. Don't have to worry about that now.
Bolden has it under 10 on the shot clock. Fades away. A little too strong. Numbers for OU. Odoms leans in and finishes. And he's hurt. An injury timeout now gives Bob Huggins a chance to huddle up his team. They'll have the basketball. A 1-point lead with 24 seconds to go. But now we're worried about Rashard Odoms.
Bob Huggins out of timeouts. Actually fortunate here. He gets a free one. While Rashard Odoms pops up pretty quickly.
Doug Sermon's Kip Kissinger over at the table just to make sure that the contact from Kanate would not be called any type of a flagrant foul. And that was as incidental as it gets. 24 seconds to go. West Virginia has the possession arrow, but no timeouts.
That's right.
So they have to get it in here.
And if you get it in, you got to have the presence of mind of knowing that instead of throwing it away, take the jump ball because your team has the possession.
Bolden's got it. Double team deep in his own end. Ahmad back to Bolden. They barely get it across.
Got a foul if you're Oklahoma.
And Issa Ahmad is fouled by Trae Young. 11 seconds comes off the clock in that sequence. Team foul number 8. So a 1-and-1 for Issa Ahmad.
If I were Oklahoma, whether I'm down 1, 2, or 3, I wouldn't call timeout. I would get the ball to Trae Young and make him make a play, especially down 1 or 2, because he is going to get to the basket, and if he's not open, he's going to dish it to an open teammate.
If Issa Ahmad makes the next free throw, what do you do if you're Bob Huggins? Are you telling your team to foul?
It's early to foul. It's early at 13. I like to foul 7 or under. Because if you foul, they get a chance to foul you back.
He misses the second. Kadeem Latin tries to get it to Young, and Young's got it.
Here we go.
Young, can he work some magic? Gives it up. The reverse, not there. Latin lost it. It's over. West Virginia survives here in Norman. It was a 14-game win streak at home for Oklahoma, dating back to last season. Their last home loss, last February 8th, to West Virginia.
And one thing you don't want to see if you're a West Virginia fan is the ball in Trae Young's hands at the end of the game. But watch the poke away by Konate that threw off the rhythm, and then a good challenge at the rim. And West Virginia, Bob, did a great job all night at the rim.
Well, tonight's player of the game brought to you by Phillips 66. It's number 50 right there with the big pump fake. And Sag Konate, you talked about it, Fran. It's not even reflected in the box score how many times he affected things at the rim, even on possessions where he didn't block a shot.
The great shot blockers, Bob, have great instincts. They don't go after every one. They pick their spots. He was brilliant tonight on both ends of the floor. We're watching in this sophomore a burgeoning star in the Big 12.
And quickly, what does this do for West Virginia to finally win one of these games?
Puts it right back in the hunt. They'll be home Saturday against Oklahoma State.
And things tighten again in the Big 12. The final score again, West Virginia 75, Oklahoma 73. For Fran Fraschilla and Holly Rowe, I'm Bob Wischusen saying so long from Norman. Sports Center is